This dude Tanaka is the laziest guy in the school, so his friend has to carry him to the class like a luggage. Even there he dozes off and fall to the floor. During lunch he is too lazy to eat by his own, so his friend has to babysit him. Even for changing clothes, Tanaka always need Otha, and don't ask him for help. He's too slow to be useful. And even after all this, he's somehow surrounded by girls. It begins when Tanaka is dozing off under the tree. Otha, his friend, approaches him and tells him let's go, the class will be starting soon. But he's too lazy and goes back to sleep, so Otha has to carry him back to the class. Tanaka wakes up and realizes he's in the class and thanks Otha for carrying him. Everyone says, "Otha, you take care of Tanaka well." Next we see Ota ask Tanaka to bring out his notebook because the next class is about to start. But when Ota touches his hand, he shivers because it's numb. Tanaka explains that when he sleeps on his arm, it goes numb. And when he tries to lean on the wall, he bangs his hand against it. Everything sucks. He just wants to relax. In the next period, Tanaka says he did his work and can sleep, but he seems uncomfortable. Ota asks what's wrong and Tanaka says those students are blocking the ventilation. He says that everyone is working hard studying, and he also wants to feel that way. Ota gets up to give his notes to a friend and the students in front of the window get up too. With no one blocking his air, Tanaka dozes off and falls from the chair. In the gym period, Ota tells him that he looks motivated. Tanaka says in order to sleep without numbness he has to train hard. Their friends say they will play badminton. Everyone starts warming up but Tanaka just stands there. The teacher tells Tanaka that he can't take breaks whenever he wants. They start playing badminton. Ota is on Tanaka's team and he takes a great shot, wins them a point. Tanaka says he will try to play the same shot, but when he tries it he throws the racket at them instead. Their friends drag Tanaka away. Ota says he's actually impressed with Tanaka's form. He starts playing the match alone. While resting, Tanaka thinks that maybe he will get a grade for Ota's playing too. Ota launches the shuttle and their friends say they will just use the spare ones. The spare shuttle bucket is empty. Tanaka has put 2 shuttle in his hair and is sleeping. Ota says he will just run and get the spare ones. After the class in the locker room, Tanaka asks Ota to save him because he is stuck in his jacket. Ota tries but his head is stuck in it. In the lunch break, Tanaka says he is hungrier than usual because of the gym class. He asks Ota to cover his food and says he will pay him back later. Ota has ordered a muffin. Tanaka asks him if he likes sweet things. Ota says he does. Ota tells Tanaka he read somewhere that resting your face in your hands causes locked jaw. Tanaka starts bleeding from his mouth. Ota gets worried. Tanaka tells him his baguette sliced the corner of his mouth. He isn't even that hungry anymore. Ota says he will eat his leftovers, so don't worry. In the next scene, Tanaka says that the biggest strength is not caring about the numbness. He turns to Ota and says that he thinks he should copy Buddhist texts. When they are going home, they pass a movie hall. Tanaka says he is too lazy to be a protagonist even in his life. He says that the main character's life is so thrilling and it's so tiring. He says he would rather be a minor character. They have less lines. While eating ice cream, Ota and Tanaka sit on the swings. A kid comes and asks Ota to help get his ball down from the tree. Ota climbs the tree to get the ball. Tanaka thinks that he is active and reliable. He says he feels like he would give his life to Ota. Tanaka asks Ota if he likes cooking, cleaning and doing the dishes. Ota says yes. Tanaka says he will get married to a good family. The next day, Tanaka says has even more slow today. Ota tells him to push through it. Usually Tanaka rests his head on one hand, but today he is using 2. Ota asks if he is double listless today. He says he didn't intend for it to be. A boy asks Tanaka to help him carry the papers. Tanaka starts helping him with the papers he is already holding in his hands. Ota says he is coming too. After giving the papers, they go to drink water. Tanaka just puts his cheek in the water fountain. He tells Ota his hair got wet. Ota says even the water droplets are listless. Ota thinks that he jokingly said, "It's a double listless day," but it's actually a new sort of listlessness. At lunchtime, Tanaka isn't eating food. Ota tries to feed him but Tanaka doesn't listen. In music period, everyone is going to sing Hometown and Tanaka is on the piano. His friends say they can't believe he plays the piano. Ota tells them that he learnt it as a kid. At first, everything is going great, but then the music gets darker. Their friends start talking about how this song is so sad and how their hometown is barren. The teacher goes to Tanaka. She notices there is something on his cheek, but when she goes to touch it, he screams. Later, Ota and his friends are talking about how they don't think it's laziness that made Tanaka scream. One of them feels that the sudden loss in appetite and sudden outbursts points to one thing. He tells Ota that Tanaka must be in love. When the school's over, Ota goes into the class and Tanaka is sitting alone. He asks why is he not going home. He says he doesn't want to go. Ota says he will treat him to an ice cream, but Tanaka still doesn't want to go. He grabs Tanaka and tries to make him come. Tanaka's bag falls, and on his planner we see he has a dentist appointment. Everything now makes sense. Ota picks Tanaka up and carries him to the dentist. Later we see Tanaka walking holding his cheek. Ota thinks that Tanaka is irritated, and that's rare. He asks Tanaka if he is in love. Tanaka says no. He says he will never let a toothache hurt his rest again. He will research new brushing methods. He closes his eyes and goes to sleep on the chair. Ota picks him up and carries him home. We see that a girl has been following them and listening into their talks, studying him. She says she will do her best. Tanaka says you don't have to try so hard. In class she starts copying Tanaka, but the teacher asks her if there is problem. She tries again, but this time the teacher asks Shiraishi to take her to the nursing room. Shiraishi takes her outside the class. Later in the day Ota asks Miyano if she wants to go with them to get donuts. She tries to be nonchalant, but Ota and Tanaka sense her excitement. During lunch break Ota tells Tanaka to eat some food. He says he was eating in his dream. His tummy rumbles. Ota carries Tanaka to the cafe, hoping the smells will make his appetite grow. Tanaka says 80% of human desires are for sleep, so if he needs to leave his sleep for food, it's a waste. Ota says he is glad he is a human. Tanaka says if he was a bird he would be dead already. Miyano is following them. Tanaka says in his ideal world he wouldn't have to move. He would eat, sleep, and use the restroom in the same spot. Ota imagines him in a jail and gets worried. After lunch Tanaka buys some green tea for himself. Miyano notices and says she will have green tea too. Ota says he will take strawberry milk and Miyano starts crying. Ota says there is no need to cry, she can drink what she wants. She thinks she failed Tanaka. Ota asks Tanaka to drink strawberry milk too and Miyano looks at him. She says, but you drink it in such a listless manner, and runs away. She stands in the hall and Shiraishi asks how she is. She says she is much better now and runs away. Miyano goes to the library and gathers books. She says she won't give up. After school, Miyano shows Tanaka and Ota her research on listlessness. Tanaka says that this lifestyle won't work for her. She is too hardworking. Miyano thinks to herself that she never stood a chance. Miyano gets sad and says she loves someone and wanted to balance them out. She says this person likes talking to her. Tanaka says it doesn't matter then. He tells her to just be herself because this person will know if she fakes it. It's after school and they go outside. They go to the donut shop and are talking about sweets. Tanaka says it's good that things are normal and starts to leave. Ota asks where he is going. He says he is going to complain to gods later. Tanaka is waiting for a metro. Someone stops him from going and it's Ota, and he tells him it's very far. The next day, Ota shows Tanaka that Miyano is behaving different. He says she has mastered listlessness and seems to be lost in her head. Tanaka says she has mastered him. Ota wonders if something happened with the person she likes. They decide to let her be. The class has begun but Miyano enters late. The teacher asks where she was. She says she was just feeling the wind. Ota and Tanaka wonder what's happening. At lunch break, Tanaka and Ota are looking at Miyano. She says to herself that she used to love, but it's not enough to fill her void now. She sees the strawberry milk Ota kept for her, but walks away. She buys herself some coffee. Ota says they at least brought out her maturity. They follow her as she walks away. We see that Miyano is walking straight into the room that just got painted, but they stop her. Ota says he will lower the sign. Tanaka says small people miss so many things. Miyano gets really excited again and thanks Ota and Tanaka. She says she is no longer worried about animal costumes. She says she saw many of them on TV. Some costumes were too small for adults. She wondered what's in them. Is it a child? Are they remote controlled? Will they start a rebellion against humans? But now she knows it's small people. Tanaka says they thought she was listless. She asks if she was just like Tanaka. They tell her she was even better. She runs away screaming. She will think of another problem to fix. The next day, in the shrine, Tanaka is praying to the gods for calm again. At school, Tanaka is standing in front of his shoes. Ota asks what's wrong. There is a letter on his shoes that says challenge. Tanaka says another day just got ruined. At lunch, both Ota and Tanaka have got fish. They both thank God and Ota starts eating it. He takes the bone out of his fish and looks at Tanaka, who is not eating. He asks him if he wants something else. Tanaka says taking the bone out is a hassle and gives his food to Ota. He says he also doesn't eat small things that are hard to pick up, or fruits he needs to peel himself, so nothing on today's menu fits him. Tanaka removes the meat of the fish, but a lot is still left. Ota takes the meat off Tanaka's fish, and Tanaka finally eats. Tanaka thanks God, and when they are going to keep their plates he says he is so full. He faints right after that. Ota picks Tanaka up in his arms and is worried. Tanaka says after eating so much he feels sleepy. He falls asleep in Ota's arms. Later Ota asks him about the letter on his shoes. Tanaka says he doesn't know about any letter. Ota realizes he ignored it. Echizen suddenly enters the rooftop and asks Tanaka to fight her. He ignores her and goes to rest. She says she asked him to meet her for a duel but he didn't show up. Ota tells Tanaka that she is his neighbor and they are childhood friends. Echizen gets angry. Ota says his mom was asking why she doesn't come to eat donuts anymore. She says this isn't the time for that and she is here to fight with Tanaka. Tanaka says he won't compete with her because he will lose. She asks him to try harder. He says, okay. They play checkers and Tanaka loses. He still says he is satisfied. Echizen has won but she still feels defeated. Her tummy rumbles and Ota gives her some bread. The bread is in a cute shape and she says she can't eat it. Echizen starts screaming at him, calling him a monster. Ota says he remembers she never could eat cute things. They start playing cards and Tanaka is shuffling them when the wind blows and they fly away. They start collecting the cards. Echizen's feet get stuck in her skirt. Tanaka says wear a shorter one. They have collected all cards but one is still missing. Echizen gets angry and says she cannot believe she was jealous of Tanaka. She grabs Tanaka and says her best friend wants to be like him. Miyano gets there and Echizen picks her up. She puts Miyano down and she says must you always do that? Tanaka says Miyano's skills at laziness were 0, so Echizen shouldn't worry. She says that's true, Miyano is a really hard worker, but she starts choking Tanaka for saying Miyano has no skills. Later she tells Miyano they were competing but Tanaka is too lazy. Miyano says she just doesn't see his true powers yet. Echizen thinks he went easy on her and says she wants a rematch. Tanaka hides behind Ota and says he should have said no to Miyano. The next day Tanaka shows Ota that he got another letter. He says he can't believe they both are friends. In the next scene Miyano fights with Echizen and runs away crying. Later Echizen tells Tanaka that Miyano gave her a homemade cookie. She carried that cookie home and thought it was so cute that she just couldn't eat it. But because she took so much time to eat it, it went bad. This is why Miyano is angry with her. Tanaka asks her couldn't she just take a picture of it with her phone. She says she doesn't own a phone. Tanaka says then she can just apologize. At the same time in class Ota asks Miyano what happened. She tells him about the cookie and Ota gets angry at her too. Tanaka and Echizen go to her to apologize. But when she sees her she gets cold. Echizen starts to write her a letter. Miyano sees her and goes to talk. But when she sees the letter she thinks it's a challenge and gets mad. Later Echizen shakes Tanaka and asks why Miyano wanted to be his apprentice. He tells her she likes someone. Echizen says she never told her this. Tanaka says if she wants to know who she likes she should ask her. She asks why he and Ota never fight. He says we are like an old couple. He says that it feels stupid to fight over some ego battle. Miyano heard this. She says she doesn't think it's stupid. She is angry because she loves her and wanted her to eat the cookie. Tanaka says that it seems the person she likes is Echizen. Miyano gets shy and really awkward. She starts screaming that in all of humanity and all of this world and in the universe, the one she loves is Echizen. She says she wanted to be really mature. Echizen holds her hand and promises to eat all her cookies. Ota says to Tanaka it's good that they are friends again. The next day Miyano has got more homemade cookies for Echizen. She gives cookies to Tanaka and Ota too. She says Echizen can't eat cute cookies so she made macho ones. We see them eat the cookies and Shiraishi walks past them. Ota is running carrying Tanaka in his hand because they are late to class. They slam into Shiraishi and all of them fall. Ota apologizes and tells Tanaka she is the class rep. Some men threaten them and say that they just bumped into their goddess. Shiraishi puts her hand on one and says that it was her fault. They run away blushing. They help her collect the documents but most are torn up. Ota says he will help her make new ones and Tanaka says she saved their lives. Shiraishi says that they can help. As they walk to the printer everyone in the hallway says nice things about Shiraishi. Tanaka hides in his jacket and says he wants to be unknown. While printing out Ota shows her a mistake in the document. She starts to fix it in the computer. Tanaka says he uses a laptop too. They ask him what he uses his laptop for and he says bullet guard. When the first print comes out Shiraishi tells them they just need 20 more and then they need to staple them in order. Tanaka thinks about how the warm printout paper would be a great pillow. While working Ota's stomach rumbles. Shiraishi offers them some homemade macaroons. Ota is very excited to try them, and he takes a bite. He says they are incredible and compares them to foreign sweets. Tanaka says it's the first time he is having macaroons and eats one. He says they are delicious. Later he is battling sleep while stapling the paper. Shiraishi says, most of the work is done and she can do the rest alone. Ota lifts Tanaka up and they leave. Shiraishi waves them goodbye. When they are far, Shiraishi lets out a great big sigh. She pulls her skirt down, takes out her contact lens, and fixes her hair and wears glasses. She looks like a completely different person. In a flashback, we see Shiraishi was lonely in junior high, so she did a lot of research and drew the perfect her. When the new semester began, everyone was in awe of her. She won, but she didn't feel comfortable with her new things. Her life is now glorious, but she gets really tired in the evenings. She says that no one can ever know the real her. She goes in to stretch her back, and Ota comes back in for Tanaka's bag. Both of them make eye contact, and then Ota picks the bag up and leaves Shiraishi. Sits there with her mouth wide open. The next day, Shiraishi is worried that her secret is out. She waits outside her class when two girls come and say good morning. The boys that ran away yesterday are there too. She realizes no one knows. Tanaka and Ota show up. Tanaka says she looks sparkling today and asks her if she is like this in private. She gets worried that he is referencing yesterday. Later, she overhears when Ota says Shiraishi is amazing. The boy Ota says this to says he wants to have a wife like her. In chemistry class, Ota's hair almost falls into a beaker. Tanaka says Ota should pull it back to be safe. Ota ties his hair and Shiraishi thinks they are making fun of her. After class, they are having lunch with their friends. Tanaka says he wonders if she got all her work done. He asks if when they went back for the bag she was still working. Ota says it was weird because when they went back she was gone and there was some other person in the copy room. Hearing this, Shiraishi falls to the ground. She says she wasn't exposed after all and she was worried for no reason. Later, Shiraishi is in the bathroom and she is really tired. She decides to go home in her comfy get-up. She gets out the bathroom and sees Kato and Shimura, and she walks past them and they don't notice her at all. She gets happy and starts hopping home. Tanaka recognizes her and she gets really nervous. Later in the copy room, Ota asks if who he saw yesterday was her. She says yes, and the Shiraishi everyone knows is her ideal self. She tells them that if they want to laugh at her then just go ahead. Tanaka says that she is amazing for doing her best to be her ideal self. He says that she is the opposite of him and he is the ultimate waste. Ota tells Shiraishi that she should have faith in herself. Shiraishi thanks both of them and says she didn't think they will say nice things. While going home, she asks if they will keep it a secret. They say they will. Tanaka says that he feels relieved that she has weak points too. When things are so sparkly on the eye, nothing can get close. The next day, Shiraishi wears her glasses to school. Her friends tell her that eyes are very important. She starts wondering if Tanaka could always see the real her. Ota asks Tanaka how he knew it was Shiraishi yesterday. He says he could tell from her chest. Ota asks him to never say that in front of her. At school, we see that Ota is wearing a really cute hairband. Tanaka gets a reminder to go to the supermarket. He asks Ota to come with him. Tanaka tells Ota he doesn't know what he has to get. His sister asked him to buy something, but he doesn't remember. Ota says that he has a sister in the 3rd year too. Tanaka tells him that his sister is also in the 3rd year. He says they look similar and their parents aren't home much, so they get along well. Ota gets worried if they eat properly and clean things. At the supermarket, Tanaka tells him that she is really reliable. They decide to take a lap of the shop since he doesn't know what to buy. Ota asks if she wanted frozen food or drinks. Tanaka says no. He also says it couldn't be rice or water because they are too heavy for him. Ota tells him that a lot of people waste money to achieve special discounts. Ota gets toilet paper for Tanaka because it's on sale. Tanaka says he knows he shouldn't have brought him here because now everyone wants him. Tanaka gets another reminder, but it just says P. Ota says it's like a puzzle now. Tanaka says he will just tell his sister it was all sold out. Ota asks him to not quit. He says he will buy all things starting with P. He buys a lot of things that begin with P. When leaving the store, Ota still doesn't think they got it. Right outside the store they see a pancake shop only till today. They say that this is it, and they buy pancakes for Tanaka's sister. Tanaka thanks Ota and says see you tomorrow. The next day at school, Ota sees that Tanaka is early. He asks Tanaka if his sister liked the pancakes. He tells him his sister didn't want pancakes, she wanted pipe cleaner. Ota tells him they will get pipe cleaner today after school. In the next scene we see Shiraishi getting ready for school. In school she thinks that she feels more comfortable now. She remembers how she tried to wake up Tanaka in the break, but when she thought about shaking him he looked so cute sleeping. She went to touch him but Ota came and carried him to class. At present moment Shiraishi is following Tanaka. She thinks she is in love with him and this makes her fall to her knees. Later she tells her friends that she might be in love. They say that if she gets a boyfriend all the other boys would attack him. She gets worried and says she doesn't want that. They tell her they were joking. Her friends tell her to go get the boy that she likes. She says, thanks to them. Later in class she is looking at Ota and Tanaka. She thinks that if she observes Ota she will know how to get close to Tanaka. Ota carries a sleeping Tanaka on his back. She thinks about doing that but doesn't think Tanaka would let her. She knows she has to be his friend first, but doesn't know what to say. She thinks maybe she could collide with him. She hides and waits for him. Ota catches her and asks her what she is doing. She thinks that maybe she can ask Ota about Tanaka. She asks him if he likes someone. Ota tells her no. Shiraishi gets happy and says she will do her best and runs away. Ota feels that Shiraishi might be able to get him to like her. Shiraishi opens the classroom's door and sees him talking to Miyano. She feels jealous and thinks that she didn't know this at all. She thinks that he would not be happy and would get bored of her. She makes eye contact with Miyano and runs away. Later, she is standing in the balcony looking out. Miyano calls her from behind. She says she knows why Shiraishi was looking at Tanaka. She grabs her hand and drags her with her. She opens the class door and tells Tanaka that now he has another apprentice. Miyano says she knows Shiraishi is intrigued by his listlessness. She holds her hand and they run to his chair. Tanaka tells Shiraishi what's happened and calls Miyano a fraud apprentice. Shiraishi closes her fist and begins to speak. She says she just wanted to be good friends with him. Tanaka says they already are friends. Shiraishi says yes they are. Miyano says she is her friend too, and says they should all exchange emails. Shiraishi says she would like that. They all exchange emails and Shiraishi thinks she made a new friend in Miyano too. Miyano sends her a mail saying she hopes it goes well with Tanaka. On a rainy school day, Tanaka says good morning to Ota and is really wet. He says the humidity brings him down. Ota tells him he looks drenched even without the humidity. Tanaka tells him his sister gave him an umbrella but he didn't bother to open it. Tanaka changes his clothes and wears gym clothes instead. Ota says an umbrella is a really useful invention. Tanaka says that one time he had nothing to lean on so he used his umbrella. Shiraishi is thinking about sharing an umbrella with Tanaka. Tanaka is in the ground getting wet and Ota runs to get him. In class he says if he lets the rain hit him maybe he would learn to evolve. Shiraishi understands that Tanaka doesn't want to hold an umbrella. She says a cold would be even more annoying. He agrees to use an umbrella. Later we see that someone has taken Tanaka's umbrella and now Shiraishi is walking him home under her umbrella because Ota had to go another way. Tanaka asks her to come a bit closer. She says no because she worries about her heart. She thinks to herself she was too flustered and completely denied him, but for her this distance is perfect. We see that Tanaka's left side is still getting wet. The next day Tanaka is wet again. He tells Ota that he tried to go in between the raindrops. Ota tells him opening an umbrella would be easier. The next day we see the rain has stopped. Ota sees a crowd around Tanaka. Tanaka is wearing a mask and says in a sore voice that he is sick. Ota says he will take him to the medical room if he gets worse. Later Tanaka violently coughs and lays down on his desk. Ota tells him if he keeps talking his voice will get worse. Tanaka says Ota can just read his lips. Ota tells him he is wearing a mask. They start writing to talk. Tanaka writes that Ota can talk normally. Tanaka asks for a history textbook. Ota asks him to ask Ekizun. He goes to Ekizun's class and writes change your last name to Tanaka or Ota. Later he shows Ota that Ekizun wrote back I am 100% out of your league. Ota says, if writing is tough he can try gesturing. Tanaka lays on his desk and Ota says sleepy. At lunch Tanaka just stays quiet. He stays quiet in the washroom and also when Ota is cleaning the dusters. Tanaka takes his mask off and says let's just talk. Tanaka tells him his face has been moistened by his own breath. Ota says that he does look radiant. The next day Tanaka excitedly says hello to Ota. Ota says he is not listless today. Tanaka tells him he was making faces under his mask, and now his face is active. He says he is going to wear his mask anyway. Ota says a cold is quite powerful. In school Ekizun is walking angrily and goes to the staircase. She thinks Tanaka and Ota like her and will propose soon. She looks at them in the class. She says that Tanaka just always seems scared of her and Ota is her childhood best friend. She starts blushing. Ota and Tanaka walk to her. Tanaka says he doesn't want to fight. She says she's not here to fight and that she is a girl. Ota says the next time Tanaka and her should thumb wrestle. She imagines Tanaka holding her hand and she runs away. She stands on the balcony thinking about Ota and Tanaka. Ota is nice, but he will treat her like a girl and Tanaka has no good qualities. She starts cutting her skirt, but Miyano stops her. Miyano tells her that it's a very important skirt. Ekizun keeps her hand on her face and says it's Tanaka then. Later Tanaka walks past the class and Miyano runs to say hi. Ekizun wishes she was smaller in height. Tanaka says he likes her height. She starts blushing and later walks to her class really happy. She trips on her skirt and Ota catches her. She starts blushing. She starts running and falls from the stairs. Her ankle is sprained when Ota offers his hand. She says no. He picks her up in her arms. She starts blushing and fighting with Ota. She falls down and is injured. Later Tanaka and Ota ask why she is acting strange. She says it's because they proposed to her. Ota says he didn't. Ekizan gets mad. Tanaka asks her if she means the thing he wrote. Tanaka tells her that her name is just hard to write. He says he didn't know she had such a special bond with her name. She realizes it wasn't a marriage proposal. She just misunderstood. They say they will come up with a simpler name for her and discuss. They come up with A-chan. They keep repeating it and she feels embarrassed. At school, Tanaka is washing his hands. He is wearing a sweater. Tanaka says he hates winters. Ota gives him his handkerchief to dry his hands. After using it, Tanaka gives it back. He opens his bag. There is a wrapped gift in it. Ota and Tanaka are looking at the gift when two girls talk about gifts. Tanaka looks depressed. Ota says this must definitely be a Valentine's Day gift. Tanaka keeps his chocolate down and says he doesn't want anything. He says he was voted #1 in junior high for bad return gifts. When Tanaka opens his bag again, there is another chocolate for Ota. Ota says although it's an obligatory chocolate, it still feels good. They imagine that someone from their class snuck in and kept it in his bag. There is a message with the chocolate that says I am always watching you. Ota thinks that the letter is really ominous. Later he hears the girls from the class talk about their gifts. He thinks that he needs to make Tanaka give a proper gift back. The girls talk about how the return gift has to be 3 times better. Tanaka suddenly grabs Kato and starts questioning him. Ota apologizes to Kato and says Tanaka is in a complicated situation. After Kato leaves, Ota says he thinks the chocolates are from Miyano. Tanaka says that he thinks of her as a live missile, but she also has a sweet side. Later they hear Miyano telling Ekizan that she forgot to bring them anything. At lunch break, Tanaka says maybe this is a prank. He wants to throw away his chocolate, but Ota says this is the type of chocolate you would gift. Tanaka eats his chocolate and says it's delicious. It is like there is love in it. Ota asks him if he would like a girlfriend. Tanaka says yes, but it requires effort. They are talking about love when Ota takes a bite. He hates his chocolate, so Tanaka offers him his. Ota takes a piece and says it feels like he has had them before. Ota suddenly remembers where he had them. He says it is Shiraishi, and that only she can make chocolates of this caliber. Shiraishi talks to her friends about how she forgot it's Valentine's Day, and they hear it. Shiraishi's friend asks her about the one she loves. She says it's not like that yet. They say that she can talk to them. While walking home, Tanaka says, since he knows it's not Shiraishi, he feels weird. Suddenly something falls from his bag. It's a voice recorder. Ota picks it up and says that they can't be sure what it means. Then a girl asks them if something's wrong. It's Tanaka's little sister. She says, her name is Rino, and thanks Ota for looking out for Tanaka. Tanaka says because he is listless he wouldn't be able to continue without Ota. She asks what was wrong. Ota tells her about the voice recorder. She says it's hers and she is using it for a teacher who talks fast. She hopes he would listen to his fast talking and fix it. She invites them home for a snack. Tanaka thinks it's a good idea. She calls Ota Mr. Obese by mistake, and they start walking home. At Tanaka's home she opens the lock. Ota sees many shoes. She tells him she is repairing all her leather shoes. She pours coffee for them. Ota says, repairing your own shoes is impressive. She says this coffee has no milk and sugar in it and asks Ota to drink it black. Tanaka is lazing around and her sister keeps the folded clothes on his head. While Tanaka is watching TV, Rino asks Ota if he is always with her brother in school. Ota thinks that she looks unfriendly, but maybe she is just worried about Tanaka. He tries to put her mind at ease by telling her everything he does for him. She tells him to stop doing that and that he will do those things by himself. Tanaka says the chocolates they received would go really well with coffee. He tells Rino someone put chocolates in his bag at school today. She asks if Ota ate his chocolates too. He tells her he did because he was given dark chocolate and he likes sweet things. She tells Ota he should leave now before it's dark out. When leaving, Tanaka says he will drop him to the station. When she is home alone, she says she did all of these things to see Ota. She wants to be Tanaka's best friend and is jealous of Ota. While walking to the station, Tanaka says he knows it's Rino who gave them the chocolates. He thinks it's because she is always watching out for him. He thinks he got the chocolates as a taster. At home, she thinks about how she put in so much effort to give Tanaka his chocolates, but Ota ate them all. Tanaka says if a chocolate gets Ota's seal of approval, it's the best. At home, she remembers her voice recorder. She goes in to listen, but only Ota is audible. She says she hates Ota. Tanaka looks at Ota's desk and he is absent. His friends can't believe it. Tanaka asks Ekizan if she can deliver a handout to Ota. He gives her a piece of paper, but she gets close to him and headbutts him. Tanaka's head swells up. He says he understands, but can she please at least show him his house? She says it seems like she has no choice. Later we see them walking outside. She asks Tanaka why he has never been to his house. Tanaka tells her he has, but he was always carried. He says they will be friends forever, so there is still time to know everything. He says he won't ask her questions, and she says she doesn't want him to know her. She tells him to walk far away from her. A scary man tells her he is there to return something to her. He goes in to punch her but instead gives her money. He says she is a lifesaver. Then an old woman thanks her for carrying her grocery, and a child asks her to play with her again. Ekizan asks Tanaka to leave it alone. Later they reach Ota's house and Ota opens the door. He is really surprised to see Tanaka, who gives him the handout. Tanaka says that he should go. Ota tells him he will be in school tomorrow. Ekizan tells Tanaka he made Ota happy and he should do it more often. Tanaka says that today he discovered that she is a good person. He asks her to stay terrible, and she says he can't demand that. They both leave. When Ekizan is home, Tanaka asks himself why is she a delinquent. The next day we see Ota's leg is sprained. He tells him he was trying to help an old lady with her bags up the stairs, when suddenly he fell because he stepped on a can. He tried to say no, but the old lady took him to a hospital. Hearing all this, the whole class gets worried for Tanaka, but Tanaka gets up and says he will help Ota. He tries to lift Ota up but quits. He goes back to his seat and says sorry, but emotions don't get the work done. Ota says Tanaka just needs to help him in his own way. Tanaka can't think of anything that plays to his strength. Later we see him walking Ota with him. Ota says everything seems so far. He wishes for moving walkways, escalators and self-opening doors. In music class, Tanaka asks the teacher if injured Ota can sit. She says yes. At lunchtime, Tanaka is going to buy something sweet for Ota. He gets tired while returning back with the food, so he eats the sweets and gives Ota a sandwich. When Ota is going to eat the sandwich, Ekizan gives him some sweets. Miyano runs in and says this was a get-well gift from Ekizan. In self-study session, Tanaka just goes to sleep. Ota says Tanaka is working hard today, so he should just let him sleep, but he notices Tanaka is having a bad dream. He dreamt that he was a tennis player and everyone was cheering for him. He says he won't let a bad dream faze him and will go back to sleep. Ota asks him to complete his worksheet first. Tanaka starts writing super fast. When Tanaka has finished, Ota checks his worksheet. He tells him he hasn't translated it well at all. Tanaka says it would be easier if everyone spoke the same language. Ota tells him that that is not possible. Tanaka starts filling his worksheet again. He asks Ota to explain a question. He says he doesn't know. They wonder if they should ask Shiraishi, but decide not to disturb her, and their other friends aren't studying. Tanaka just decides to use his phone, but Ota stops him. Later, a big bell rings and it's an evacuation drill. Shiraishi asks Kato and Shimura to help Ota. Later, everyone is in the ground. Shiraishi says Tanaka isn't here. He shows up late and says since Ota carries him to his classes, he got lost in the school. We see Tanaka trying to find the exit lost in the school. Everyone hopes that in the case of a real fire, Ota can carry Tanaka out. Ota says he will make an effort to be flawless, but Tanaka says don't. Later at a bridge, Tanaka tells Ota he feels useless. Ota wonders if Tanaka is upset or just making a joke. Tanaka says that he wouldn't be able to function without him and thanks him. He says that today will be known as Ota Day. He says that because he has just created it, he might forget it next year. The next day he gives Ota coupons for a walk with him for Ota Day. Ota uses the coupon and they walk to the other class. The bell rings and Ota runs and carries Tanaka to class again. The coupons fall down and Ota says that they were pretty meaningless. At a fast food restaurant, Ota is excited to see limited time sweets. Tanaka says that he hates how fast everyone moves at this restaurant. He also says they never have anything that he likes. Ota starts leaving, but Tanaka stops him and shows him a robot cleaner. In the next scene, Tanaka is placing an order. The girl at the counter is really worried he will take a lot of time. He orders food and toy number 4. She checks and tells him it's unavailable. Tanaka gets really sad and just orders a strawberry shake. She thinks to herself that Tanaka is so sad he lost his appetite. She imagines that Tanaka will drop it and tells him they will bring it to him. Tanaka sits next to Ota and sighs. She brings him his strawberry shake. Tanaka starts sucking on the straw, but nothing is coming up. Ota asks him to let it melt a bit. While throwing out the trash, the girl turns around to look at Tanaka. She thinks that he is looking at her because they were out of number 4s. Ota offers Tanaka his French fries. Tanaka picks up a large fry and says it's like Ota. Ota picks up a fry that can't stay straight, and Tanaka says it's him. Later, Tanaka says he could never work a part-time job. He looks at the girl and says he is impressed with her, but she gets scared. In the bathroom she is panicking and thinks that Ota is scary. She goes to her manager and asks if they have any number 4s left. He says no. She tells him her life is on the line. Tanaka tells Ota that he is really comfortable at the restaurant, so he will come again to try and get the toy. The girl is handing out flyers when they leave. Tanaka tells her they will be back, which scares her. He says she is a really hard worker and they thank her when they leave. She says that they were good people. The next day, Ota and Tanaka decide to go to the restaurant. At the restaurant they are talking when the girl sees them. Ota has forgotten his phone in school, so he has to go and get it. Tanaka tells him he will stay and starts laying down on the chair. Ota says he will be right back and leaves. A girl takes her order but can't find a seat. She catches Tanaka sleeping. She gets scared and Rino asks her what happened. Tanaka gets up and Saya covers Rino's eyes and says they look the same. Rino says this reminds her of something, and she is now irritated. She introduces Saya and Tanaka. Saya speaks really quietly, so Rino repeats everything she says. Tanaka says that he likes quiet people. Rino starts celebrating in her head that Ota isn't there when Saya gets up and says she is feeling awkward. Later Rino repeats after Saya that she has a big brother that's like a gorilla. Rino says that Tanaka is weak but she still relies on him. All of them just sit silently at the table. Tanaka tells them he got the toy he wanted. Rino leaves to get a drink. Tanaka asks Saya how gorilla-like is her brother. She says he is probably in the middle of a human and a gorilla. Tanaka says that he feels guilty that he isn't strong enough to protect Rino. Saya says that Rino talks about him all the time in school, and that he shouldn't worry because Rino loves him. We see that the girl taking Rino's order is scared that Tanaka is multiplying. Later Ota runs back and recognizes Saya. Tanaka realizes it's her big brother. Rino enters and says they should go home for dinner. Saya introduces Rino and Ota and they say it's an amazing coincidence. Later they are all going home and say goodbye. While walking home Ota tells Saya that he can't believe she is friends with Rino. He puts his hand on her head and says she looks happy. Saya stops and thinks about how Ota could tell her emotions. She gets happy and runs up to Ota. On the other side Rino can't believe Saya is Ota's sister. Tanaka says let's go home, and when they are home, she places the food on the table and tells him dinner's ready. He says he ate at the restaurant and is no longer hungry. At Ota's house Saya brings him dinner and says that she brought him a lot of food. At Tanaka's house we see the toy that he bought loses its energy and stops. It's a hot summer day and Tanaka and Ota are at the pool. Tanaka tells Ota he cannot swim and Ota is shocked. He tells Ota he will be fine because he has a life ring with him. They see two kids floating on an inflatable dolphin and Tanaka imagines using Ota the same way. Ota says no. Tanaka starts going in the water, but Ota asks him to stretch before Tanaka goes in to do a stretch and cramps up. The lifeguard screams at a few boys and in the next scene we see Tanaka slowly going in the water. Tanaka is peacefully floating when two boys make fun of him for using a tube. Tanaka tells them he can't swim and they start trying to steal his tube. Ota scolds the two kids, and they say sorry to him. Tanaka's tube deflates and the kids get scared of Ota. Ota takes of his goggles and his eyes scare the kids even more. Later we see that Tanaka's tube is completely deflated. Tanaka says it's okay and starts floating on the water. Ota and the kids are really impressed with how easily Tanaka floats. We see that the lifeguard is the same girl that works at the restaurant. Ota, Tanaka, and the two kids float on the water and the girl sees this. When they are leaving the two kids call Tanaka their master and say that they will always respect pro floating. The kids say goodbye to them and run away. Ota tells Tanaka he feels really tired and sleepy. Later we see them sitting in the shade eating ice cream. Ota says he will carry Tanaka home when he has some energy. The next day the two kids tell Tanaka and Ota that floating is now really popular in their school, and then they leave. Tanaka says that he worries about the future of the swimming world. The next day Miyano tells them that she needs to grow 10 centimeters. Ekizan has invited her to see fireworks and wanted to wear yukatas. Miyano is worried she will look like a child in a yukata. Ota tells her growing 10 centimeters is impossible. Tanaka says a simple solution would be to not go to the fireworks show. Ota says that maybe she can find a beautiful yukata for herself. Miyano says that she could try a specialty store to find one in her style. She asks them to come with her. Shiraishi enters the class and Miyano asks her to join them too. In the next scene they are at a yukata store with a lot of options. Shiraishi says she might buy one too. She says she has never gone to see the fireworks show. Miyano tells Tanaka she found slippers that could make her look taller. Tanaka shows her a pair that would add even more height. Shiraishi looks at a man's kimono and says Tanaka would look good in it. Miyano invites her and Tanaka and Ota to the fireworks show. Shiraishi starts crying and says she has to go with her friends. Ota says that they should buy yukatas as well. Tanaka picks up a women's yukata, but Ota tells him he can't wear that. Miyano says that she and Shiraishi will go in to try their yukatas. Shiraishi comes out wearing a yukata and Ota says he didn't recognize her. Tanaka says she looks beautiful, and she starts blushing. Miyano comes out wearing an oversized yukata. When they are leaving, Miyano says she will just wear a dress. Shiraishi feels really bad for Miyano. She says that they can just buy fabric and make one for Miyano. They start looking for a suitable pattern. At the firework festival, Miyano shows Ota and Tanaka her yukata. They really like her yukata and are very impressed with Shiraishi. Miyano says that she really likes the way her body looks in this yukata. Ikazan comes and says Miyano looks like an angel. She looks at Ota and Tanaka. Tanaka says she looks so nice. Ikazan says they are only hanging out together because of Miyano. She thinks that Ota looks nice and he says as kids they would wear matching clothes. Ota says that she looks good and Ikazan gets embarrassed and starts blushing. Her heart beats loudly and she says Ota looks good too. Tanaka tells him about shaved ice syrups and he runs to them. Ota is deciding what to get when Ikazan dumps shaved ice on him and calls him a fool. The fireworks start going off and everyone looks at them. The fireworks are beautiful and the whole crowd looks at them. We see Miyano struggling as taller people surround her. She says that she hates being this small. Shiraishi tells the class that they are in charge of hosting the haunted house. Ota says that this is great because there will be so many sweets. An almost invisible Tanaka says he hates this festival and that he has been practicing disappearing, so he doesn't get any work. Shiraishi says that the only spots left for Ota and Tanaka are the ghosts. On the day before the show, their class is really motivated. Ota says that he is worried because he isn't a good actor. Tanaka uses his disappearing trick and Shimura notices. They all start praising him and say he could use this to scare people. We see everyone working hard and Ota says to Tanaka, he is made for this role because being a ghost is the easiest job. Tanaka says he will just send his soul in through astral projection. Shimura tells Tanaka to jump from behind a board and scare people. Tanaka doesn't jump from behind the board and then welcomes Shimaru. Miyano says that Tanaka could be a well ghost and just sit there. Tanaka sits in a cardboard box and they say it looks pretty good. They shine the light on him and Tanaka is already sleeping. They decide to draw open eyes on his eyelids. Tanaka wakes up and rubs his eyes, which smudges the ink. The next attraction is a sliding door from which a hand pops out. Ota tries it too, but he is so tall his hands aren't in the field of view. Shiraishi comes to give Tanaka a ghost costume. Tanaka tries on his costume and Shiraishi says, if he wants to be realistic he should wrap his clothes the opposite way. He does it in front of her and Shiraishi sees him naked and starts shivering. Ota is nervous about being the main attraction and Ikazan comes and says hi. Someone calls her and Ota and Tanaka say they are happy she has friends. Next, we see that everyone has worked hard and the haunted house is ready. Kato and Shimura say they should have a real practice run now. They walk in with Shiraishi and see Tanaka relaxing in his well. Next they see the hands that scare Kato. They tie Ota to a wall and say he will suddenly move and scare people. When they come out, Ota comes out behind them. He says that he is afraid of ghosts. He is weak in the knees from passing through and can't be in there. They start panicking when Miyano says she will handle it. On showcase day, Ikazan's friend gets scared and begs her to not go forward. Miyano tries to scare them dressed as a monster cat, but Shimura can hear outside how Ikazan is calling her cute. Shiraishi tells Ota that everyone is saying Tanaka's ghost is the scariest part. In the next scene we see Tanaka sleeping with his eyelids open. Kato and Shimura announce that they are taking an hour-long break now. They call out for Tanaka and tell him they are taking a break now. Tanaka thinks to himself there is no place to rest. He goes to find Ota, but everyone is asking for his help already. Ikazan's class has turned into a cafe and she tells Tanaka they have a table for him dressed as a waiter. He ignores her and walks away. She says get out and starts screaming at him. Tanaka says his outfit is too noticeable, so he should hide somewhere. He opens a door and sees a couple there. Back in their class, Shimaru says Tanaka isn't back and asks Kato to get into costume. There is an announcement on the loudspeaker for a girl. Shimaru asks Ota to find Tanaka so they don't have to announce it. Ota starts looking for Tanaka, but he also keeps buying different sweets. Tanaka is at the stairs leading up to the roof and plans to rest there. He sees a box there and starts resting in it. When Ota comes to look for him, Tanaka wakes up from his sleep. He puts his hand up on the railing and starts moaning. He gets up saying Ota in a sleepy voice, which makes Ota faint. Tanaka tries to wake him up, but he is out for good. He thinks that he can't carry him, and he doesn't want to leave him alone, so he decides to just rest next to him. He goes to sleep. In the next scene we see that it's afternoon. Shimura and Kato find them and wake them up. They both get up and apologize for not being there the whole day. They ask them to help with the cleanup. We see everyone wrapping up the set and Miyano raises a glass of soda to the day. The next day, Miyano and Shiraishi are discussing a rumor that people saw a real ghost. Ota hears this and says he saw it. He asks Tanaka to never go near the roof and says they should put salt where he saw it. Ota tells Tanaka while having lunch that today their seats will be changed. He sees that Tanaka has painted a spell on his hand for good luck. Ota says that the front seat is the worst and the most unpopular. Tanaka tells Ota his morning fortune said not to talk at lunch, so he should shut up. Ota sees in his eyes his determination. Tanaka says that he is more worried than other students. Next we see that Tanaka is sleeping on the front desk in front of the teacher. Miyano starts complaining from the last seat that she can't see anything but Ota's back. Tanaka runs to her and offers to trade seats and Miyano agrees. He now sits next to Shiraishi and says all he needs is to sit behind Ota. He says that everything worked out in the end and the result is great. After a few days, Shiraishi thinks to herself that this is perfect. She tries to speak to Tanaka, but he goes to sleep. Ota picks him up and says goodbye to Shiraishi. In the next scene, Shiraishi reads in her book about a morning greeting. She wishes Tanaka good morning, but his eyes are still almost shut. She tries to get his attention by hair flipping. She tries to look cute in her sweater and even opens her top button and says she feels hot. Tanaka looks at her. Shiraishi thinks she finally got his attention, but she can't keep this up. She decides that she needs to be devoted to him. When he didn't write notes, she tries to offer hers, but Ota does it first. Tanaka sneezed, but Ota gave him a tissue first. When he forgets his printouts, she picks up her desk, but Ota gives him his printouts. Later we see Shiraishi on the roof talking to herself and Miyano listening. She says she wants to live on true love's breath and Miyano thinks it's very mature. Shiraishi says she feels stupid and embarrassed. Miyano steps in and tells her she is great and should believe in herself. Shiraishi says that she won't quit and Miyano says she is rooting for her. 3 days later, Tanaka asks her to let him be because he likes it alone. This breaks Shiraishi's heart. And after school she tells herself it's all over. She says she gave it her best, but still nothing happened. Tanaka was sleeping on his desk and he asks her to not try so much. He says that he doesn't know the specifics, but she shouldn't worry. Sooner or later things work out. She says that she can't know for sure, but she thinks it will work out. She thanks Tanaka and says that she will try to be more carefree. Later, when walking home, Kato and Shimura see Tanaka, and they look shocked. The next day they call Tanaka a traitor. Shimura says that he wants to be where he is and is jealous. They say that Tanaka has a girlfriend with braids and glasses and they saw him with her. Shiraishi knows that it was her. Tanaka remembers her secret and says it was just a friend. They ask him not to lie. Shiraishi is worried, but she is also happy to be considered Tanaka's girlfriend. She gets up and says that maybe it was really just a friend. Shimura says that insisting it is a friend is just a way to hide it. Ota says he is happy that Tanaka has a girlfriend, but he is sad he will have to go home all by himself. Tanaka says he can carry both of them. Miyano jumps in and says that it's impressive he hid his girlfriend, but it could affect his friends. She calls him stupid and runs away. When it's time to go home, Shimura says maybe they should follow him, but Tanaka tells them to back off. This scares them. Shiraishi doesn't want him to fight his friends, so she decides to let Ota know, but Miyano grabs her hand. Miyano drags Shiraishi with her because she thinks Shiraishi is heartbroken. Ekizan asks Ota why he is alone, and he tells her that Tanaka has a girlfriend. She can't believe it. Ota says they should celebrate. He says it's weird to say this all of a sudden, and Ekizan thinks he is going to propose. But he asks if he could carry her home and she punches him. In the next scene we see Tanaka walking home alone. He stops to relax, but a puppy starts chasing him, and he hides behind a pole. He thinks that if Ota was here he wouldn't have to worry. Later, 2 women try to sell him something, and he thinks it's terrible. He sees girls walking in front of him and thinks about how Shimura would ask them for their emails. Ota, Shimura, and Kato are following him, wondering why he is alone. Ota gets an email from Shiraishi, telling him it was her. He says it wasn't his girlfriend. It was their common friend. At home, Tanaka tells Rino he realized how Ota always helps him relax. He says that he realizes now that humans aren't meant to live alone. The next day in school, Kato and Shimura apologize to Tanaka. He tells them to just act like they always have. They hug him. Miyano starts apologizing for calling him stupid. Echizen sees this and runs towards him. Shiraishi thanks Oda. Later, Shiraishi says sorry to Tanaka for the trouble. He says that this reaction to having a girlfriend makes him want to never date. Shiraishi worries, but she has decided to be carefree like Tanaka.